will complete Julius Caesar in the next video. So here I am. But if you have not subscribed to my channel up till now, please do. And yes, don't forget to press the like button. The likes are so few. Don't you like it? But I get the comments, and also wonderful comments from my ex-students. And yes, they are quite good. They are quite inspiring. So please do. And now for Julius Caesar Act 5, Scene 4. Another part of the field. So here we find Brutus, Messala, young Cato, Lucilius and Flavius. So you already are aware that Cassius has died, and so has Titinius. So these are the few remnants. Brutus had said he wanted to try a fresh assault and see if they can get an upper hand, if they can in the second attack, if they are fortunate or not. So we find them entering the field. Brutus, yet countrymen, oh, yet hold up your heads. So Brutus is trying to inspire them that don't lose your courage, countrymen, have courage. Cato, what bastard doth not? Who will go with me? So young Cato seems to be quite an enthusiastic fellow, full of vigor and all that. So he says a person who cannot hold his head in courage, he should be a bastard. He should be a coward. And then he is asking, come, who will follow me? I will proclaim my name about the field. I am the son of Marcus Cato, ho, a foe to tyrants and my country's friend. I am the son of Marcus Cato, ho. So he wants to attack the enemy army with all his bravery, but he seems to be quite inexperienced. He is the son of Cato. Remember, Cato is Porcia's father, Brutus's wife, Porcia's father, and that means this should be her brother, young Cato. So he says that I want to shout all through the field that I am the son of Marcus Cato. So I am an enemy to tyrants and I am the friend of my country. Enter soldiers and fight. So soldiers of Mark Antony, they come and there is a fight. Brutus, and I am Brutus, Marcus Brutus. So Brutus also claims that yes, he tries to show his courage by shouting that I am none other than Marcus Brutus. I, Brutus, my country's friend. Know me for Brutus. So these are quite inspiring introductions to themselves. So he also, while fighting, he challenges the enemy by saying, I am Marcus Brutus. So young Cato, so Brutus leaves the stage, exits, and then while fighting, young Cato is overpowered and he falls down. Lucilius, O young and noble Cato, art thou down? Why, now thou diest as bravely as Titinius, and mayst be honored, being Cato's son. So Lucilius says that young and noble Cato, are you fallen? Have you fallen? Are you dead? And then you have died as bravely as Titinius. I don't understand this. Why should Lucilius compare Cato to Titinius? Titinius, when he saw Cassius dead, he killed himself. He committed suicide. That is so different from what young Cato did. He challenged the opposition soldiers and then they had a fight, and after fighting he fell down dead. So I don't know why Lucilius, or rather Shakespeare, brings in this reference that you have died as bravely as Titinius. So you have shown that you are the worthy son of your father, so you should receive the honor which is due to you. First soldier, yield or thou diest. So the first soldier in the meantime comes and challenges Lucilius that surrender or you die. So Lucilius, only I yield to die. There is so much that thou wilt kill me straight. and then offers him money. Kill Brutus and be honored in his death. So Lucilius plays a trick. He fools the soldiers by saying that he is Brutus, so that these soldiers will try to hand him over to Mark Antony and Octavius, and in that way spend a lot of time, and Brutus will be safe. To ensure Brutus's safety, he says, I am Brutus, take this money and kill me immediately. First soldier, we must not, a noble prisoner. So first soldier is saying, no, we should not kill you, he is a noble prisoner. So we have not been taken to kill you because you are a noble prisoner. We have not been given orders to kill you because you are a noble prisoner, so we should take you alive. Enter Antony. Second soldier, room ho, tell Antony Brutus is taken. So the second soldier tells Antony that Brutus has been overpowered. First soldier, I'll tell the news. Here comes the general. Brutus is taken, Brutus is taken, my lord. So when Antony comes, these two soldiers are discussing among themselves. So he wants the soldier, the second soldier wants the first soldier to go and inform Mark Antony that Brutus has been taken as captive. So first soldier says, yes, I will impart the news to him. And when he sees Mark Antony, he informs him that Brutus has been arrested. Antony, where is he? Lucilius, safe Antony, Brutus is safe enough. So Lucilius knows you can fool these soldiers. They might not know who Brutus is, but Mark Antony knows, so it's no use fooling him. So that is why he says that Brutus is far away and he is safe. I dare assure thee that no enemy shall ever take alive the noble Brutus. So I assure you, capturing Brutus alive is something which is impossible. I assure you, you will never be able to capture him alive. The gods defend him from so great a shame. Yeah, it will be very shameful on his part. So may the gods defend him from this. When you do find him alive or dead, he will be found like Brutus, like himself. So this Lucilius has so much regard for Brutus. He says, when you find him, whether you find him alive or you find him dead, you will find him as honorable he has always been. Antony, this is not Brutus. So Antony tells the soldiers were so happy that they have captured Brutus. So Antony tells them, no, this is not Brutus. Friend, but I assure you, a prize no less in worth. So he is not Brutus, but he is also equally valuable. Keep this man safe. So don't harm him, keep him safe. Give him all kindness, so treat him kindly. I had rather have such men as my friends than enemies. So he wishes that he had Lucilius as a friend than as an enemy. Why? Because they are ready to die, risk their own lives for the sake of those whom they admire. So Lucilius admires Brutus, so for that he risks his own life. So that is why Mark Antony values the good qualities. So he values Lucilius for his loyalty towards Brutus. Go on and see whether Brutus be alive or dead. So go and search for Brutus, whether he is alive or dead, and bring us word unto Octavius's tent how everything is chanced. And after having found Brutus alive or dead, come to our tents, rather Octavius's tent, and tell us what has happened. So they leave. Mark Antony and all these, Mark Antony leaves. So this is the end of Act 5, Scene 4. So the last scene remains, and I said I will club these two in one video. So I will continue with the last scene of Julius Caesar. Yes, the drama is coming to an end. Act 5, Scene 5. Another part of the field. Enter Brutus, Dardanius, Clitus, Strato and Volumnius. So these are only the remains of the conspirators or the supporters of Brutus. Come, poor remains of friends, rest on this rock. So he calls his friends Dardanius, Cletus, Strato and Volumnius and says that, of my so many friends, you are the only remnants, come let us rest on this rock. So they are defeated. Cletus, Statilius showed the torchlight, but my lord, he has not come, he came not back, he is or taken or slain. So another friend, he was Statilius, and they had agreed upon some light to be shown. So Statilius had shown that light, but after that they were expecting him to come back, but he has not come back. So they suspect that either he has been killed or he has been taken as a prisoner. So what does Brutus say to it? Sit thee down, Cletus, slaying is the word. It is a deed in fashion. Hark thee, Cletus. So Brutus says, sit down, take your seat, Cletus. And undoubtedly Statilius must have been killed, because that is what is happening. So let's accept it that Statilius has been killed. And then he tells Cletus that he has something to tell him. So he whispers something in his ears. What? I? My lord, no, not for all the world. So something which Brutus has whispered in his ears shocks Cletus, and he says, you mean that I should do it? No, not for all the world. Even if you offer me the whole world, I am not going to do it. Peace then, no words. Okay, then silence, don't speak anything. I'll rather kill myself. So rather than doing what you're asking me to do, I would rather kill my own self than obey your orders. So now Brutus proceeds towards Dardanius. Hark thee, Dardanius whispers. So he says the same thing to Dardanius. And Dardanius, how does he react? Shall I do such a deed, so you expect me to do this deed? Cletus, O Dardanius, O Cletus. So now both of them understand that Brutus has told each of them the same thing. So what has he told them that they are so shocked and they refuse to obey him? What ill request did Brutus make to thee? So Cletus is asking Dardanius that what ill request did Brutus make you? What request did he put before you? To kill him. Cletus, he told me to kill him. Look, he meditates. So look, he seems to be deeply absorbed in his thoughts. Cletus, now is that noble vessel full of grief that it runs over even at his eyes. So Cletus says that Brutus seems to be so overpowered with sadness that the sadness is running down as tears through his eyes. Brutus, come here, good Volumnius, list a word. So now he calls Volumnius and wants him to listen to him. What says my lord? Why, this Volumnius, the ghost of Caesar, hath appeared to me several times by night, at Sardis once, and this last night here in Philippi fields. I know my hour is come. So what does he tell Volumnius? He wants Volumnius to realize that his last hour has come. That means he doesn't want to die on his own. He doesn't want to commit suicide because he is strongly against it. So he wants someone to take his life. He wants any friend to save him from the ignominy of being captured by the enemy. So he wants one of them to do a favor of killing him. So he has approached Cletus has refused. He has approached Dardanius, even Dardanius has refused to kill Brutus. How could they? They love him so much. So now he approaches Volumnius, and this time he tells that, see, I have seen the ghost of Caesar twice. He had visited me earlier at Sardis, and last night at Philippi fields also he has come. So I know my last moments have come. Volumnius, he is trying to give him hope. Not so, my lord. Nay, I am sure it is. Volumnius, thou seest the world, how it goes. Our enemies have bet us to the pit. it is more worthy to leap in ourselves than tarry till they push us. So he says, I have no doubts that my last hour is come. So you can see yourself how everything stands. We have been driven by our enemies to the very brink of the pit. So the best thing would be for us to jump inside rather than they pushing us. At least we will have our prestige when we jump ourselves rather than our enemy forcing us to jump into the pit. Because anyhow we have to jump into the pit, whether they force us or we jump on our own. So jumping on our own is a better thing to do. So it is more worthy. It would be more honorable to jump into the pit ourselves rather than they pushing us or forcing us to jump into the pit. Good Volumnius, thou knowest that we two went to school together. Even for that our love of old I pray thee, hold thou my sword's hilt, whilst I run on it. So this is what he tells Volumnius. He tries to emotionally remind Volumnius that we were school friends. We used to go to school together. So I remind you of that friendship and request you hold the sword hilt and I will run through it. So this is how. This is indirect suicide only. But he doesn't wield the weapon himself and kill. So someone else holds it and he wants to run through it. Volumnius, that's not an office for a friend, my lord. So he says this is hardly a friend's job. This is hardly something to offer to a friend. And then alarm still. So alarm. Fly, fly, my lord, there is no tarrying here. So Cletus says, run away, my lord, there is no waiting here. Brutus, farewell to you and you and you. Volumnius, so who are the three? One is Volumnius, one is Dardanius and the other is Cletus. He bids them farewell and tells them to leave and only Strato remains. So what does he tell Strato? Strato is a young fellow. Strato, thou hast been all the while asleep. Farewell to thee, Strato. Countrymen, my heart doth joy that yet in all my life I found no man but who was true to me. I shall have glory by this losing day more than Octavius and Mark Antony. By this vile conquest shall attain unto. So fare you well at once, for Brutus's tongue has almost ended his life's history. Night hangs upon my eyes, my bones would rest, that have but labored to attain this hour. So Brutus seems to be ready for his death. So he addresses his friends that countrymen, I am really happy that in all my life I have always found friends who were very loyal to me. So having such friends, it will be an honor for me. Even if I am defeated, it will be an honor for me to die with such nice friends around me. So Mark Antony and Octavius, they might be the winners, they might be the victors, but this is not a glorious victory for them. Rather, this is a miserable victory. And though I am defeated, I will find myself, I will feel very happy that I have got such friends. So I bid you farewell. So my life has come to an end and I feel that night is coming. Night is symbolic of the end of day and also symbolic of death. Night is rather symbolic of death. So he seems to be exhausted. He wants to rest. My bones would rest that have but labored to attain this hour. So he feels the need for rest, and that is not just rest, it is permanent rest. So again the sound of alarm and fly, fly, fly. So Cletus, fly my lord, please run away. Brutus, hence I will follow. So you all run away, I will follow you. So he just wants to send them. He is not going to run away. He tells Dardanius, Volumnius and Cletus that you all run away, I am coming. But he doesn't. What does he do? So these three leave. I pray thee, Strato, stay thou by the Lord. Thou art a fellow of good respect. Thy life hath some smatch of honor in it. Hold then my sword and turn away thy face, while I run upon it. So you hold the sword and turn the other way, let me run on it. Wilt thou, Strato? So all the others have refused. So only hope remains in Strato. But Strato will oblige. Why? Because he finds that it is impossible to see Brutus arrested. If I don't do him this favor, he will be captured. And that Strato doesn't want. So Brutus is requesting Strato that you have been a respectable fellow, you have some honor in your life, so hold my sword and let me run into it while you turn the other way. You don't have to look and see me coming towards it. You turn the other way, just do the favor of holding the sword. Give me your hand first, fare you well, my lord. So first he shakes hands with Brutus and bids him farewell, and he is the only one who understands Brutus's sadness and misery. So he accepts it, because he feels, if I don't do it, all the friends have left. If I don't do it, Brutus will be captured. So while Brutus was requesting to the other three and they had refused, Strato was sleeping. So now he accepts Brutus's offer. Farewell, good Strato. Caesar, now be still. I kill not thee with half so good a will. So Brutus bids Strato goodbye, shakes hands with him, and then he runs on his own sword. So the same weapon with which they had killed Julius Caesar, they turn on them only. Cassius also the same, and with it Titinius kills himself, and now Brutus kills himself with his own sword. So he tells Caesar, I think you have got your revenge, you can rest in peace now, and I was not really happy when I killed you. I am more happy rather now to get myself killed. So he runs on his sword and he dies. And now Octavius, Antony, Messala, Lucilius, and Messala and Lucilius have been captured by Antony and Octavius. So they all enter the stage where Brutus is lying dead and Strato is there standing. What man is that? So Octavius point, my master's man. Strato, so where is thy master? So Messala says, he is one of my master's servant. That means Brutus's servant. And he asks Strato, Strato, what has happened to your master? Free from the bondage that you are in, Messala, the conquerors can but make a fire of him. So he tells Messala that my master has escaped being a captive, which you are in. That means you have become a captive, but my master has escaped this captivity. So these conquerors, they can just make a fire, means they can just put his body to fire. The soul has escaped from the body. For Brutus only overcame himself, and no man else hath honor by his death. So Brutus conquered himself alone, and no man can take the glory of his death. So no one can claim that I killed Brutus. Lucilius, so Brutus should be found. I thank thee, Brutus, that thou hast proved Lucilius saying true. So Lucilius feels, yes, this is a fitting, this end befits Brutus, and he is happy that Brutus has justified the words of Lucilius, that when you find him, you will find him honorable as he was in life. Octavius, all that serve Brutus I will entertain them. Fellow, wilt thou bestow thy time with me? So Octavius seems to be overwhelmed by the loyalty they all have towards Brutus. So he wants to honor them. So he says, all those who have been in the service of Brutus, I will take you into my service. And then he tells, are you all willing to serve me? Especially he tells Strato. So Strato, if Messala will prefer me to you. So Strato agrees, if Messala recommends me to you, then only I'll take your job. Octavius, do so, good Messala. So Octavius tells Messala, Messala, please recommend him. Messala, how died my master, Strato? So first Messala wants to know how Brutus died. I held the sword and he did run on it. So Strato informs Messala that he told me to hold the sword and I held it for him and my master ran into it. That is how he killed himself. Octavius, then take him to follow thee, that did the latest service to my master. So Messala is happy that Strato has listened to Brutus's last words also. So he tells, yes, Octavius, you can take him, because he has done the last service to my master. So Messala also considers Brutus to be his master. Antony's speech. This was the noblest Roman of them all. So of all the ones who had been our enemies, he was the noblest. All the conspirators, save only he, did that they did in envy of great Caesar. He only in a general honest thought and common good to all made one of them. His life as gentle and the elements so mixed in him that nature might stand up and say to the world, this was a man. So what a brilliant tribute Mark Antony pays to Brutus. Just before the war they had fought, because that was very customary. But now he pays glowing tribute to Brutus. So he says that he was the greatest, and among the conspirators he was the only one who joined the conspirators because he had the thought of common good. He wanted to help the people of his country, and that is why he joined in the killing of Julius Caesar, whereas the others were jealous of Julius Caesar, and that is why they conspired against him. But if Brutus joined the conspiracy, if he made him one of them, it was with a general honest thought and common good to all. That means he thought good of the countrymen, and that is why he joined the conspiracy, not out of jealousy or envy. And then he says that in his life he was gentle and honest, and all the good elements were so mixed harmoniously in him that nature might stand up and tell about him that this was a man. And now let's see what Octavius has to say. This is the final speech of Julius Caesar, Octavius' speech. According to his virtue, let us use him with all respect and rites of burial. Within my tent his bones tonight shall lie, most like a soldier ordered honorably. So call the field to rest, and let's away to part the glories of this happy day. For them it is a happy day. Why? Because the war has ended and they have got victory. So Octavius says, we will treat him with all the honors that he deserves. And yes, his burial also will be according to his virtues. His dead body will be in my tent this night, and with all honorable formalities which are due to a brave warrior. And then he says, now let's give the signal for the war to end, and let us retire, let us go back to have some rest, and after that we will divide the glories that we have won on this day of victory. So this is how the war comes to an end, and this is how our Julius Caesar Act 5, Scene 5 comes to an end, and that is the end of Julius Caesar. So I am sure you all must be happy that Julius Caesar has got justice, the conspirators have been killed, but still we feel sad for Brutus. He was really a patriot, but he became disillusioned once he realized that the others were not having the same view in their mind when they conspired against Caesar. They joined it because they were jealous, but Brutus was not jealous of Caesar. He found him dangerous for Rome, and that is why he joined it. So, yes, let me know how you all liked it through your comments. So, bye for the